22 years ago today, the world as we knew it changed forever. New York changed forever.
The skyline of Lower Manhattan would never be the same. Neither would the lives of those fortunate enough to survive the terror of that day. Joining us this morning, one of those survivors, Mr. Greg Carafello. So, Mr. Carafello, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.
22 years later, I know it never gets easier. What are you feeling on this morning?
Well, 9/11 each year is, it's in the back of your head, in the front of your head, it's there. So it's a day you get up, and at this point in time, for 22 years, we just dedicate this day to 9/11. So we don't try to work and we don't try to do other things. We just dedicate it to friends we lost and also the hardships that so many people have had.
Yeah.
Now, you were actually in the South Tower, right?
That's right.
Working at a digital printing company.
Yeah, it was called 2 World Trade South Tower, and it was a printing company my wife and I had started, I guess about 10 years before this, and we ended up, we were there I was there that day.
18th floor.
18th floor, yes.
Do you remember? Did you hear the tower being hit, or did you know the North Tower had already been hit?
You could feel the concussion of the North Tower being hit. We were on the 18th floor, and we had a window suite, and then we had an interior suite. We had 2 suites, 2 offices, and basically you could feel the concussion and the sonic boom of the building being hit. And then with the window spot where my office was, we could see all the debris coming down.
And what were you thinking in that very moment? Like, we should get out? What was the initial reaction?
Well, actually, I wasn't thinking get out. Basically, the lights were on just like they are here.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. But the person, most of my employees were not in yet. It was still early. And the manager of the facility, Joe Johnson, he came in and said, you know, we should get out of here now. And I asked him why, and he said in 1999, there was a hurricane or some kind of event in downtown. I was not here, but all my employees and everybody who worked with me and for me, they all got out, but it took them 3 hours to get on 18 floors because of the narrow staircases and things like that.
Wow. So they were obviously packed with people trying to get out at the time. So
Yes.
you were able to
That's
escape.
right. We moved rather quickly.
Before the South Tower was hit.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it took us every second of 16 minutes, 17 minutes to get out.
Wow.
And we were right outside maybe a block away when I say right outside when the second plane came in.
Oh, wow.
Gosh,
Wow.
and when you look back and you saw what went through your mind at that moment.
Well, in a split second, you knew this was not an accident.
Yeah.
You knew that all the excuses that you were making in your head and reasons were just not accurate.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody ran.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. You're outside, debris is flying, and the noise level was unbearable. So you just change gears and run.
Yeah, well, you had a very close friend that also was working in one of the towers, but he did not make it out.
That's right. His name was James Martello, and we had grown up together since 6 years old. And,
Is that the two of you in this picture?
yes, it is. That's our wedding day. Yeah. My wedding day, not ours.
Yeah. So what had happened with him?
Basically, he was with Cantor Fitzgerald, and so he was above the impact zone of One World Trade, North Tower, and he just nobody could make it down if you were above the 92nd, 93rd floor.
Did you know that in the moment?
No, but he was way up there, you know, and that you could see the side of it. By the time we had run to South Street Seaport, you looked up and you saw the damage that occurred, and you know he was above all that. He was right below the windows of the world, the restaurants.
Yeah. And all these years later, you avoided Ground Zero for quite some time, right?
That's right.
But now you're back in Lower Manhattan. You're actually working in One World Trade.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
What led you back?
Well, you know, it took years to get past, I guess, the shock and not wanting to come back downtown. But then, basically, I bought a business in 07, 08-ish, end of 07, and it was New York City based. So I said, you know, let's get back in. And actually, my oldest son, I was working on a treadmill. I said, you know, I have an opportunity to buy this business, but I'm going to pass. And he came home from college. He said, how could you not go back to the biggest market in the world? So, you know, youth is kind of helpful, in all fairness. So we ended up, we opened up that. And then what happened was, and after the 10th anniversary in 2011 of 9/11, I just started to see that you could volunteer.
Yeah.
So it took about a year, and it's been 11 years now. September of 12, I joined the docent community, but actually memorial community first, because the museum was built and opened up in May 10th of 2014.
Right.
Wow, so you volunteer in the museum.
Yes, we do.
Right.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And now you were telling us during the break, not only do you visit on September 11th, but you visit every week?
Oh, yes. The docents, there's several hundred docents, 200 docents, and not everyone is a survivor, not everyone is completely attached to the day. But yeah, every Friday we have our duty, our volunteer duty schedule is Friday from 10 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you call yourselves? You said you have a name for yourself.
We do. We're self-proclaimed, but we're called Friday's Finest.
Friday's Finest.
And so 10 to 2, you go to the reflecting pools, you go to the museum.
10 to 2, well, you do a little bit of both.
Okay.
You're in the museum,
Yeah.
but about a year ago, once the Glades opened up, which the Glade is for all the people that are dying of cancers from all the volunteer work and the work in cleaning up the 3 million tons of debris. Basically, they created the Glade, so we now have an hour or so that we are outside, plus the other 3 hours we're inside.
Has that helped you being there every week?
Well, it's an obligation that I look forward to going every single week, and I own businesses and I have other things that I'm very busy with. But this is this is 12 years, 11 years that I can't wait to get there every Friday. And so yeah, it's been very cathartic.
I'm sure.
So.
Well, Greg, I appreciate you coming in this morning. I appreciate you reflecting, as so many do, on this day. And maybe we'll have to come see you from 10 to 2 one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you.